Beauty. What is beauty? Do you know? Do you know someone who is beautiful? What makes them beautiful? Here's the real question. Have you ever felt beautiful? When was that? Every morning I get dressed. I do my hair, I put on makeup, I do all I can to achieve optimum beauty, my optimum beauty. But no matter how hard I try, I never actually feel beautiful. And no matter what image I present on the outside, inside, I actually feel ugly. And my truth is, I'm afraid that you will discover just how ugly I really am. See, I'm a mother who was arrested in my own driveway, feet away from my children's bedroom window. But my story doesn't begin there. I was born with a large precancerous birthmark that covered my entire back. That mark was a sentence, or so the doctors explained, because for me to live, all the skin on my back had to be removed. So at the ages of 4 and 6 years old, I underwent very invasive surgery, where every layer of skin that was marked was cut away, and what remained of my torso was used as skin grafts. After my surgeries, 40% of my body was without skin. See, I know nakedness. I had no clothes on as I laid in that hospital bed for weeks as I healed, but a nakedness beyond nudity, one that I feel only known to me, because I know a nakedness without the cover of my own skin. And the pain was terrible. My screams would echo down the hallways, especially when I saw the nurses with their sponges and clean sheets. But that pain subsided, and something else took its place. See, my wounds healed, replaced by scars. A small child, now almost half my body severely scarred. The terror of bathing suits among friends, no sundresses or spaghetti straps for me. This very, very kind woman in our church would sew bathing suits for me, or swimsuits, and that would cover the deep scars that enveloped my body. That gave me some relief from my shame, but shame was my new pain. But cover I did, and I got good at it. Using my hair, clothes, makeup to disguise what really was, but living so afraid that my friends, colleagues, even strangers, would discover that they would somehow see my scars, and they would learn just how ugly I really am. Then I was arrested. I saw that deputy's car sitting out front my sister's house. As I was leaving, I had had a few glasses of wine. But I lived in the same neighborhood as her, just 2 residential streets away. I was 37 years old and never even had a traffic ticket or a parking citation to that matter. So I got in my car and drove home, without incident, or so I thought. See, I was being followed, and that same deputy came racing down my streets, lights flashing, just as I was pulling into my driveway. I was arrested and then sentenced to 20 days in the Pima County Jail of Tucson, Arizona. I was strip searched every day, sometimes twice a day. Every ugly and terrible scar I worked so hard to hide, now exposed to unkind eyes. They mocked me and ridiculed me as I stood there, naked, exposed, shivering. See, I was stripped not just of my clothes, but of my truth and my lies. I couldn't be that fictitious person I wanted everyone to believe I was. I couldn't hide. I laid in that bunk bed among 90 other inmates, feeling hopeless, ashamed, humiliated, and sorry for myself. And it was in that moment I cried out to God and said, God, I can't do this anymore. I can't carry this shame. Help me. Immediately, this great warmth filled my brokenness, and these two words whispered to my heart: scarred, beautiful. How, I ask, can my scars and this DUI be anything but ugly? Yet scarred, beautiful gave me a choice. I could be forever sentenced, ashamed of every scar, or take this opportunity to learn and grow and change. Yes, I was still very much in jail, alone and sentenced. And there will not be a day that I don't regret my decision to get behind that wheel for the heartache that I caused my family and the risk I was to others' safety. But I could take this moment and transform this from a mark of my fall to the moment I rose again. But what about my physical scars? That's a picture of my back. Taken at age 36, just a year before I was arrested. How can I find beauty in that? Yet through God's eyes, my scars are beautiful. Because the very disease that intended to destroy me didn't. And my scars are a testament of my strength and resilience to survive. That scar, my scars, are the reason I'm alive today, and that is beautiful. It's time for all of us to begin to recognize where true beauty lies. Our scars and our stories have beauty for the lessons learned, the wisdom earned, and the ability to rise again. Dr. Dan McAdams of Northwestern University did a 10-year study on two types of people, those that live a vigorous, abundant, productive life and those that don't. And he found one common thread in those that lived a productive, happy life, in spite of whatever tragedies they might have endured. And he called that common thread a redemptive story. Hear that word, redemptive. How beautiful is that word? See, we each hold the ability to change the narrative, to change the outcome of our tragedies, of our scars. It's in our hands. I had labeled myself scarred for 37 years, but I'm no longer just scarred. I am scarred, beautiful. That is my redemptive story. And that redemptive story changed everything for me. What is your scar? You have one. Some we wear on our bodies, some we carry in our hearts. Some are moments we were victims, others self-induced. What is your scar? I want you to do this. I want you to give that scar a label. And I want you to write it down. I'm not asking you to write down your whole story. Just give that scar, that moment of pain, a word, a name, a date, whatever it is, just write it down. And underneath that, I want you to write one good thing that happened as a result of that scar. Did you learn? Did you grow? Did you find compassion because you know what it feels like to need compassion? Did the road you were taking change because of that circumstance, which led you on a new road that brought you to beauty? Are you a better mother, a better friend, father because of that scar? Maybe your scar is deep shame because you did something that hurt another deeply. But how can you change that scar, that situation, to a redemptive story? How can you turn that scar to something beautiful? And maybe your scar is the loss of a loved one. But your beauty is in the hope that one day you will embrace again. It's time for us to give our scars the beauty that we've earned. I did it. I left jail and I said, I'm going to leave this facade, the secrets I keep in that jail cell, and I'm going to emerge living, breathing, owning my own skin. and I'm going to reveal my scars, but the beauty they reveal about me. So I did it. I shared my story. It started with a book, and then something incredible happened. Women from all over began to share their scars, their stories with me, with others. Stories of tragedy turned to triumph, beauty after the pain. It started with one woman's scars, now 34,000 strong. Men and women who call themselves Scarred Beautiful. That is my story. That is our story. But what is yours? I want you to do this. I want you to raise your hand if you have a scar, whether it be physical or one you wear in your heart. Go ahead, raise your hand. Thank you. Your scars are beautiful. Your beauty is not in spite, but with, and even because of your scars. Because your story is unique to you and you alone. And that moment was when your character was tested, yet your strength and your resilience prevailed, and that is beautiful. I am Andrea Casteel Smith, and I am Scarred Beautiful. Join me. Thank you.